and we lived with the rangers at a national park with the only remaining 6 black rhinos of Zimbabwe. Best one was the rhino poaching in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Like, it was epic. And my favourite part of that was we got to live in Zimbabwe, I think it was for about a month or 6 weeks, and we lived with the rangers at a national park with the only remaining 6 black rhinos of Zimbabwe. And those rangers are trained by an ex-SAS Aussie guy to protect them. So we were living with them, and that just meant we were kind of part of the crew. Like what we were talking about before, right? Like, you lead these different lives, and we were there for 5 or 6 weeks, something like that. And I can remember driving home, like, back to camp one night, and I got to drive the Jeep. It was like this old piece of shit Jeep, and I just loved it because, like, the roof was kind of cut off it. It was an awful car. Never get registered here in Australia. And to get back to camp, you had to go down this kind of really steep gorge, cross over a river, come back up, and there's this really sharp turn up the top corner. And in the river, a month before we got there, a guy got attacked by a crocodile and lost his hand, right? One of the rangers. And so we're coming down here.
His name Hook?
It is now.
Captain Hook.
Coming down this creek, and we come back up, and I just see this flash of white, and I've got the rest of the crew and some of the rangers in the tray of the ute, and I see this flash of light of white in the headlights. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then suddenly, as I come around, this big bull elephant just comes at us. And I hit the brakes and I throw it into reverse. Of course, the lights aren't working in the back, and I'm having to go, like, try and reverse fast because he's coming straight at us. And I'm screaming at the back of the tray going, lights, fucking lights, lights. No one knows what's going on because they haven't seen it. But I know there's a cliff that drops off into the river where a guy just got taken by a crocodile.
Yeah.
You know, it's light, fucking what? And bang, back, we get back around, and as I've hit the brakes to see what happens, you just see this big bull come forward, have a look, bit of a sniff, as cliche as you'd like in a film, lets out a big trumpet, and then pisses off into the bushes.
Wow.
It was just like, holy shit.
Wow.
Like, I can't
change your pants?
Oh, I think I was just happy that everyone didn't think I was crazy. Because everyone was swearing back at me, going, like, what the fuck are you doing? What's going on? You're going to drive us off a cliff?
And anyone who hasn't seen an African elephant in the flesh, especially when you're in a car,
They're
like
big,
a car is nothing to this thing. Like that thing, you might be in a nice big truck and this big old Land Cruiser. That'll stop that thing up.
Mate.
No trouble. That'll throw you off the cliff if it wants. They are big, big animals.
It was epic, eh? That's one of my favourite shoots I've ever done. And like black rhinos have a history of misbehaving. Like, they're quite nervous and they jump around a bit, and, you know, keepers in Australia and around the world, and that they're always a little bit like, oh, be careful around the black rhinos. And I can remember on, like, our second or third day, around the main ranger hut, they had all these sort of big rocks like this, because the theory was the rhinos didn't like to stand on the rocks. So we got there on sunset, and we had a mum and a calf hanging around, and I'm like, sweet, I'll get the camera out, I'll go get some shots, and of course, me being me, go right to the edge of the rocks, because I'm like, I really want this shot. I want to get as close as I can. And then this little calf comes running straight over to me and stops, probably like as far away as what we are here now. And I'm just sitting there just really quiet, and then mum fucking charges at us, and I just stay, I'm going lower and lower. I'm sort of crouching down in a squat, and I can feel the rangers have come over to me, and they're just grabbing me by the back of the collar, ready to reef me out of there. But I just stayed really still and just let this thing come, and it came right up, probably half the distance from us. Mum, sniff, sniff, sniff.
Half the distance from us, so they're like,
Fuck
like a
yeah,
metre
half
away.
the
that's
difference.
like a
metre
metre away.
Mate,
You could-
I nearly wanted to put my hand out to pat it on the nose.
Far
I really wanted to
out.
do it. It's one of my biggest regrets for not trying it,
Wow.
because it was just one of those
Wow.
moments where you
And
could
what,
feel.
you're standing behind a rock, so that's
I'm not standing behind anything. I'm crouched down like in a squat
Wow.
on the edge of these rocks. There's nothing
Wow.
between us, but there was just something about it. I don't know. I'm not hugely spiritual or religious, but you could just feel like it was actually going to be okay.
Yeah.
It was scary, but I'm like, if I just stay low and just let them do their thing and don't move and don't, you know, we've done a fair bit of stuff with wildlife. We know not to give them something to react to. Like, as long as I don't give them something to react to, we're going to be okay. And but the nervous part was when I could feel Chelly Pelly was his name, the lead ranger, grabbing me by the scruff, ready to reef me. I was like, okay, this is actually kind of serious.
Wow.
But, mate, hands down, best 5-6 weeks trip of my life. Unreal.
Wow.